Welcome everybody to this video where I'm going to take you through the finishing touches to my Christmas decor. It's really on trend just now to create this beautiful forage look within our interiors for Christmas, and I have decided to do that on my mantelpiece. I'm using this garland that I got from Ginger Ray Company, and it is beautiful. It's got a really lovely selection of different shades of green and different types of foliage, and it's perfect for creating this vintagey forage look, which is very in this year. The thing with placing garlands on mantelpieces, it's really common for them to fall off, and in order to have this forage look, it's this kind of gentle swaging sort of hanging look, and the best product on the market for this, if you don't want to damage your furniture, are these 3M strips. So you place them on using the instructions. You have to let them set for, I think it's about 60 minutes, and then what I did was I simply hung on the garland on one end and hung it on the other end to give it this really lovely swag kind of look. After a while I realised that I really needed the extra support in the middle, so I added that. And then I wanted to create this really beautiful waterfall flowing on one side of the garland and one side of the fire. So I let this drape down and I spend a little bit of time adjusting it to make sure that there's lots of coverage. I wanted to give it a really authentic look, so I had some offcuts from my real Christmas tree and I cut some sections of this off. And I'm looking at placing it into the garland. The beauty of adding real pine needles are that they provide a little bit of a smell, and they also really fill out the faux garland. Ribbon is super on trend just now. This lovely velvet kind of draping look and the vintage cowbells complete the look. A really simple way to switch out your styling decor in a living room space or any kind of shelving are just to look at removing some of the elements that you already have and then adding other elements just to give it a really Christmassy look. This applies to side tables, so if you've got vases, you know, look at putting some stems in it. I've got a bowl that I have here on this side table, and to create this Christmassy look I'm going to put in some Finland moss, and I'm going to add some baubles that I purchased. I saw these beautiful green crystallised kind of baubles, and I'm simply going to turn them around, putting the fixing side down so they feel like decorative ornaments in themselves. I've always loved this "Let's Stay Home" sign that I picked up in the range, and I simply switched out my existing artwork and popped it on. I also picked up this fir tree in TK Maxx, and then I had this sleigh and this really lovely cooker cutter style reindeer that I picked up from TK Maxx along with this velvet ribbon. Because the sleigh and the reindeer weren't bought together, I felt like I needed something to link them, and I wanted to add a pop of Christmas colour, so that's where I used my velvet ribbon just to loop it round and give it this casual draped look. The 3M hooks are fantastic for lots of things, however sometimes a nail and hammer are just as good. So if you have wooden furniture and you don't mind putting in a hole underneath where nobody will notice, I sometimes think that's just as strong a fixing as anything else. Underneath this unit I have this open space where a lot of our wireless and things feature, and I thought it would be really nice to add some baskets. I have these two baskets that are complementary but they're not exactly the same, and I've popped some cushions and some throws into them to just complete the styling look. I picked up this white bowl recently, which I absolutely loved. I have simply put in a garland to add some greenery, and then I had some baubles that were in a similar kind of rattan, grey washed rattan as the sleigh, so I popped them into the bowl, and then I added some pine cones. The sleigh I'd left because I just wasn't sure what I wanted to put in it, but after I thought about it, I decided I wanted to make a dark kind of statement, and I added some pine cones and some dark baubles to complete the look. I love to make my Christmas bed cosy. There is nothing nicer than getting into a really Christmas cosy looking bed. Pump your pillows up rather than down, and it gives them a really kind of cosy jump in look. And then layer up your cushions, starting with a couple of shades of green, some shades of red. Another thing I did years ago, I had a white duvet that I just wasn't going to use anymore. I ran it through a wash with some dye, and I dyed it a dark green, and I just put it over a double duvet cover and just put it at the bottom of the bed, and then I've styled it with this really beautiful throw that I picked up at Tiki. Also bought this really gorgeous forage looking wreath at TK Maxx, so I decided to hang that above our bed in place of our juju hat. I completed the look with a garland over the top of my headboard. So all in all, I absolutely love my Christmas styling this year. It is just extra compared to what I've ever done before. I've kind of switched it up. I've taken some things out that I've had before that I maybe decided aren't working. I've tried to go with what's in trend and just create a much more contemporary looking Christmas with these beautiful velvet ribbon details, foraged feels, natural pine cones. This is what Christmas is all about this year. You'll notice that in places I've mixed, so I've had frosting garlands in some places, and then I've had these natural unfrosted garlands in other places, but I'm loving this wild look. It is just so beautiful and feels so vintage and homely. I know I sound like a broken record, but if you have found anything inspiring, if there was anything you liked, please give this video a thumbs up. Please feel free to check out my Instagram page. I'm going to link it down below. I'll see you over in the next video, which you can click on here. Thanks so much for coming.